Pathmonk is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully share your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathmonk to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us out, pathmonk.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Kari Johnson from Boom Learning, Marketing Director with them. How are you doing today, Kari?
Hi, it's great to be here. I'm doing well.
It's great to have you on today's episode, and I'm sure our listeners are tuning in wondering what Boom Learning is all about. So let's kick it off with that. Kari, in your own words, can you tell us a little bit more?
Absolutely. So our company, Boom Learning, invented the product Boom Cards. And what Boom Cards do is they're interactive gaming units that can be played within a platform that delivers rich data. So teachers can assign Boom Cards to their students, and then they can do live monitoring, and they can dig deep into the data to see how those students performed on the activities. And to a student, it just feels like games.
Oh, okay, perfect, great, and that's such a great way of tackling that. And so that way, our listeners who are tuning in could get a good understanding. What would you say is the key problem that you solve for clients?
So we serve a whole bunch of different types of users, from teachers to parents to administrators and students. But I would say the problem that we're mainly solving is that it can be really hard when you're doing repetitive practice activities for education for it to be engaging and fun. And by making interactive games, that involve ink, the ability to draw, the ability to drag and drop, as well as fill in the blank, and even chain images, which are like little mini animations, we put the tools in the hands of the teachers so that they can make the most creative content for their students to learn from. And so all of our games, 100% of them, are made by real teachers, educators, tutors, and even specialists like speech language pathologists.
Oh, okay, interesting. And so that way, so that is there a vertical niche segment that you guys like to focus on?
Yeah, we actually have a bunch of different personas that we kind of focus on from a marketing perspective. I would say that one that's kind of unique to our business is publishers. So they're the whole vertical of our business that's just teachers who need a little bit of an extra side income. And so they create games using their absolute favorite worksheets and materials from their real educational experiences, whether it's classroom or one-on-one. They take their years and years of knowledge as expert educators, and they transfer that into materials that can then be sold to others. And then they make 85% of the profits, and Boom Learning takes 15%. And so that's an example of a type of audience that we serve. We also serve administrators. So for instance, someone looking to find a solution for a whole school building or a whole district. We definitely deliver products that are geared towards making their life easier so that they can see exactly what the teachers are assigning, what they're doing, and how many of the teachers are actually logging in and how often they're logging in. So we have a new product actually that's going to be rolling out in July that's called Boom Passport. And that's kind of more of a content as a subscription model where becoming a Boom Passport customer, a school is going to have access to over 40,000 different games and activities made by over 120 different educators.
Oh, wow, that's huge. Look, I think our listeners are looking forward to that. And so how would somebody typically find out about Boom Learning? Is there a top client acquisition channel that you guys have, Kari?
It's so crazy, but we really benefited from word of mouth over the past couple of years. Teachers who, especially classroom teachers who found themselves struggling to find something that would work well for remote, found us, talked about us to each other. So I would say that user-generated content and social media is a huge source of leads for us. Somebody hears about Boom Learning and Boom Cards from, an educator that they respect and follow or one of their friends. Then the next thing they do, the next touch point would be signing up for a free account. And then from there, it's just a matter of trying to get them to have, like you said, those micro experiences. Like even within the app, do they make their own Boom Card? Are they able to successfully assign a deck of Boom Cards to their students? Did they make a classroom? So we're nudging them along that journey to become more and more invested in using the product and for all the things that it can do, including differentiation and scaffolding.
All right. Great to hear that. And so that way, who our listeners who are tuning in, they could check you guys out at wow.boomlearning.com. What role does a website?
You there? I'd actually recommend that they go to info.boomlearning.com. That's going to be the site that has all the information about the product, whereas wow.boomlearning.com is really our app. So that's to sign up, get right in there, and start working on your educational content.
Oh, all right. Perfect. Thank you so much for that. So you guys can check them out there. So then what role does the website play for, so you have two, what role does the website play for client acquisition as far as with the info website?
Yeah, the info website is really what we use to educate customers about what the product is. So we could send them to different landing pages that are made in that ecosystem. When we do advertising, we send to that page. And we're working on just building out more and more different pages for specific personas within the info microsite. And then Wow is our actual app. So the product is built on Meteor, so it works across all kinds of devices. You can use an Android app, an iTunes app, an Apple app, and you can also use it as browser-based. So you can use it on a smartboard, a tablet, a mobile phone with limited connectivity. It's really device agnostic. And what you see when you go to wow.boomlearning.com is actually the app itself.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you so much for clarifying that. So then what would you say then? Is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some lead generation for the website?
Yeah, I would say that for one thing, content is king. It's always great to be delivering. We do like a publisher profile, teacher of the month, special series on homeschooling, on, classroom strategies. We're basically churning out content. And that's one way that we get people to our ecosystem of pages. The other thing I would recommend is having an army of super fans. One of the ways we do it is through great customer service, but we have tons and tons of really product champions that are out there talking about our product. And an example of that is we created a Premier Publishers program so that publishers who have been vetted for their academic content, their integrity, their legal use of different, licensed materials, and generally they're good quality. We've looked at it, their design is good, their pedagogy is good. Those people can apply to become premier publishers, and then we elevate them as kind of the go-to gold standard. We put a badge on their individual stores and on their decks. And we also give them a little bit of a nudge in search so that the first things that come up when people search the store are those premier publishers. And so I would say that, backlinking and coordinating with those premier publishers and making sure that we highlight them and they continue to highlight us is a great way to bring in new customers and new leads.
All right, perfect. Great. Some recommendations there. But Kari, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about you as a leader. You being the marketing director there for Boom Learning. what are some key tasks you focus on your day-to-day work?
Delegating. I'm the person who always wants to do everything myself, and we're a small company with 25 people or so, like 25 to 30, and we serve over 12 million students and over 2 million teachers. So there is really no way to do everything all by yourself. So whether it's through small contracts, with designers, or whether it's delegating to people on my team, that's an area where I'm really trying to grow and improve. But most of what I spend every day doing is really putting myself in the mind of the customer and thinking, what do they need next? What's going to really help them in their classroom or as a district leader? And then trying to work across our small team to make sure that we can deliver the things that are most important and are going to most benefit our customers. And then communicate those things, right? So when we have a new feature release or a new product, making sure that everyone is in the loop.
All right, awesome. Great to hear. It sounds like, delegating, I think it's one of the hardest and easiest thing to do once you figure it out, but definitely it's a challenge. So great that you're tackling that in your own way. It's awesome to hear, Kari. But let's jump into our next section here, which is our rapid fire question round. You ready for them?
Ooh, I'm nervous. Go ahead.
All right. Not too hard. First off, easy here, but what is the last book that you read?
The last book I read, we're looking forward to doing a bit of a rebrand. So I forget the name. I'd have to run into the other room to grab it. But it's this nice, big, thick coffee table book on branding.
All right. Awesome. Great read there for our listeners. Next up is, what is one single thing that your company's focused on at the moment the most?
One of the things that we're focused on is actually like intentional cannibalization. So we have all these private teachers, individual teachers in classrooms who bought our product over the past couple of years, but we really don't want those teachers to have to pay out of pocket. So we're looking at ways to make it easier for teachers to get their schools to pay for their accounts. So rolling those individual accounts up into a larger school account. That way the administrator has more oversight over what the teachers are doing and buying and how active and engaged they are, and the teachers don't have to pay for themselves.
Definitely, that would be great for teachers, and like the way Sound Boom Learning is, everybody would benefit. So hopefully the schools can take that into account. So great stuff there from you guys. And well, next, Kari, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
I think probably writing. I love writing. So I probably want to still come up with taglines and write blog posts and things like that. Even if I could have even if I could have an automation do it, I'd still enjoy that. But also talking to customers. I mean, I think one of the things that I haven't let go of in my whole career is, doing occasional responding on social media, just because it keeps you in the loop. It keeps you in a position where you can feel the pulse of what your customers are feeling. So that would be a big one that I would never want to completely automate.
All right. Awesome. Great to hear that. And well, lastly, Kari, what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
I started marketing coming out of the recession in 2009. I moved to Los Angeles thinking that I was going to become a screenplay writer, and instead had to pay those bills. And so I ended up doing marketing for a trailer house. And I think that if I were to restart it today, I would probably have learned to code earlier. Yeah, I just think there's really siloing the creative and the technical is a mistake. Like, I think all marketers need to be really good at data analytics. They need to be good at coding, even if it's just basic HTML. I think that, you can never be too curious and you can never learn too many things because you'll find a way to use it. And especially when you're working with startups, like being able to wear a lot of different hats is really important. So I would just say keep learning.
Definitely some great advice there, and totally right. New tools, new methods that you bring into yourself, it's going to boost your career. So great advice there from me, Kari, for our listeners. Thank you so much for that.
Kari, that's always a good one. Be kind to your customers.
Definitely, very important. Well, Kari, thanks a lot for being on the show with us today. I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about your company?
I would say start a free account on Boom Learning and assign one set of Boom cards to a kid. Watch what happens. You'll be sold.
There you guys heard it. You could check them out at info.boomlearning.com. Transform your classroom with interactive games. Kari, thank you so much for being in today's episode. To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in and looking forward to our next episode at Pathmonk Presents. Thanks, Kari.
Thank you.